thank you, everybody. Xin chào. Thank you, thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to be with you today. My first time in Vietnam. And you know, when I talk to some of the other past presidents from around the world, they'll remind me, oh, I was the first president to visit South Africa. And I was the first president to visit Malaysia. Well, now I can say I'm the first international president to visit Vietnam. So it's quite a privilege. Thank you for having me here today. And thank you for your membership. I thought I'd start by telling you a little bit about my job. Would you like to know what I do as international president?
Yes.
I know some of you want to be international president.
Yes.
Who wants to be international president? Oh, a lot of competition. I'm going to save that to the last then. So there's three things that I do as international president. First part is I chair the board of directors. We have 19 members of the board from 8 countries around the world. We elect geographically. So last year's president was Mohammed from Dubai. You remember Mohammed?
Yes.
Yeah, next year it'll be Mike Storkey from Northern Australia. Then Balraj Arunasalam from Sri Lanka. And then it will be Lark Doley from Austin, Texas. And then we don't know who the next person is. So those are the senior officers. So I chair the board of directors. We meet 3 times a year face to face. 2 of them are around our international convention. So we will have a meeting before our convention in Washington, D.C. and then a meeting afterwards. So 3 times we meet face to face and lots of conference calls. And our job is to set policy and direction so staff can run the organization. So Dan Rex and people can take your phone calls and emails every day and make sure your awards get out. And when you've got arguments with people, they can help resolve arguments. So that's what our staff does, but the board sets policy. The other 2 roles are I'm an internal ambassador and external ambassador for Toastmasters. So as an internal ambassador, it's like today, I'm meeting with a lot of members here to make sure we're doing a good job for you as you continue to enjoy your membership in Toastmasters. And I should ask, how many people are not members of Toastmasters in the audience? How many? Okay, oh, quite a few, okay, very good. But some of you are Cavaliers, I know, correct? Yes. So as an external ambassador, I often meet with companies who've either got Toastmasters in their organizations, like we have at Nike and at some other corporations around town. So they bring Toastmasters in to be part of their training in leadership and communication skills. And sometimes we'll meet with people, with companies who want to bring Toastmasters in or considering it. So we'll do some of that while I'm here for the next couple of days as well. So internal ambassador, external ambassador, we chair the board of directors to make sure that we're guiding the organization so that this 91-year-old organization remain strong into the future. So those are my roles. I'm going to tell you something that for the members, this helps us market Toastmasters, and for the non-members, I hope this makes you think, oh, I need to join Toastmasters. Because if you want to be a strong speaker, or you want to be a strong leader, there's 3 things you need. And I'm going to disagree. Even strong speakers need Toastmasters. Here's why. If you want to be a strong speaker or leader, you need some knowledge. You can get knowledge from books, from videos, from short-term courses. The knowledge is available in a lot of places. The knowledge hasn't changed much in 100 years though. The knowledge about speaking is about organizational techniques and eye contact and gestures. The knowledge hasn't changed much. The second thing you need is a place to practice. This is a skill. Speaking is a skill and leadership is a skill. So if you want to be strong at these things, you need a place to practice. So if you're a speaker, say you're a teacher in front of a classroom every day, you've got ample opportunity to practice. Or if you're leading a team at the workplace, you've got ample opportunity to practice those skills. If you don't have a place to practice, you need to find a place to practice. And the third thing you need is you need feedback. You need someone saying, that made sense, this was really good. You know, that might be even stronger if you made a little adaptation. You need feedback. Someone who will give you some suggestions for improvement. Your friends won't give you feedback. Your friends want to be your friends forever, right? So you need those 3 things. You need the knowledge, you need a place to practice, and you need the feedback. So in Toastmasters, we bundle all those things together. So even if you're a strong speaker, you still need a place where you can practice regularly, and you need feedback. So even teachers in front of a classroom, they don't get much feedback on how they're doing. So I'm quite proud of what we put together here in Toastmasters, and that's a reason why someone should join Toastmasters. That's a reason why someone should stay involved in Toastmasters. That's, I think, positions us uniquely in the world. And I'll tell you now, I've been a member since 1987, so what's that, 29 years? Some of you aren't 29 years old, are you? I've been members for 29 years. It's because of those reasons. Sometimes I've been more heavily involved than others. This is a very busy year, but I stay for those reasons. I know that I need that knowledge. I know I need a place to practice. And I know that I'm quite confident in my speaking abilities, but I know there's things I can do better. Sometimes people tell me I need to slow down, and I'll invite you, if I'm speaking too quickly today, just give me a motion and I'll slow down a bit. So a tip I'd like to offer to Toastmasters and the non-Toastmasters is very helpful. I found it helpful a long time ago, but who struggles in table topics? Who doesn't like table topics? Wow, that's a lot of Toastmasters saying they don't like table topics. What's that all about? But would you like a tip that's helpful?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, here's a tip that I learned a long time ago, and I use when I get in trouble. It's a simple structure. Structure gives me confidence and strength. The structure is simply past, present, and future. Have you heard that before?
Yes.
Is that Mike's on? Yeah, past, present, future. So that's a very simple structure that you can use any time. So if someone said, Jim, what do you think about visiting Vietnam? I'd say, well, I didn't know a lot about Vietnam when I was first coming over here. I'd read a little bit about it, but now that I'm here, I'm enjoying the people, enjoying the country. I've always enjoyed Vietnamese food, and in the future, I can't wait to return again. So past, present, future structure to get you out of trouble lots of times. If you're walking in the hallway tomorrow and your boss says, how's that project coming along? Has that happened to you? Has your boss ever caught you flat-footed? If your boss says, how's that project coming along? You say, oh, well, last week we had a couple of significant successes. There was this and this. Over the next 2 weeks, here's some things that are important to us. And boss, here's a place I can really use your help in the future. Past, present, future is a structure that you can practice in table topics. And once you get that routine down, it'll get you to virtually any situation. So is that a good tip?
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Very good. I wanted to mention as well we brand ourselves, Toastmasters, where leaders are made. And when we first branded ourselves that way, I thought we were a little ahead of ourselves. I thought we needed to develop some more material, some more structure, and that is coming. But then I read something that made me change my mind. And I read a blog on Harvard Business Review, and if you're interested in this, you can go and Google it. HBR for Harvard Business Review. And the gentleman's name is Jack Zenger, Z-E-N-G-E-R. So HBR, Z-E-N-G-E-R. And he wrote about 8 paragraphs titled, We Wait Too Long to Develop Leaders. And here's what he wrote about. He said that he does training in leadership for lots of big companies around the world. And he said he got an invitation to speak to a very special group, because the group were all 8 years old. Well, can you imagine training 8-year-olds on leadership? That was what he was asked to do. So he went in and he trained them. He said, the kids just got it. They understood it very easily. But he said, leadership for 8-year-olds isn't about mission statements. It's not dealing with people who aren't doing their jobs. It's about protecting the self-esteem of your colleagues. It's about focusing on problems and not personalities. So I read that and I said, that's leadership at any age, isn't it? And it's all too lacking in most societies. I don't know your society, but I think in most societies, we're not very good at protecting the self-esteem of one another. We're not very good at focusing on problems and not personalities. But I realized as I read that's what we do in Toastmasters. We become very strong at that. How long is the icebreaker speech in Toastmasters? Who can tell me that?
6 minutes.
How? 4 to 6 minutes. My icebreaker was 3 minutes long. They protected my self-esteem when I finished. And I know if someone goes to your club and does their icebreaker in 3 minutes, speaks faster than you would think is humanly possible, but they sit down and you applaud and they feel like they've beaten the world, I know you don't say, you talk too fast, you need to get to 4 minutes. You don't do that, do you? We learn to protect the self-esteem of our colleagues, and I'm sure that transfers into your professional lives and personal lives. So every time you're doing an evaluation, you're practicing leadership skills. And focusing on problems and not the personalities. So sometimes in the workplace, we have people it's difficult to work with. They say, oh, I could never get along with that guy. I just couldn't get along with that person. I don't know what it is. But in a Toastmaster environment, if Rich gave a speech and I disagreed with his point of view, Rich would talk about what a great president Donald Trump will make in the United States. What? I'm Canadian, by the way. Rich gives a speech on what a great President Donald Trump would make. I would disagree with his point of view, but I'm not going to argue with him in my evaluation, am I? I'm going to give him feedback on his structure, his argument. Did his speech flow well? How were his gestures, his vocal variety? I'd focus on the problem, not the opinion there or the personality. You see the distinction? So Jack Zinger said, leadership's about protecting the self-esteem of our colleagues, focusing on the problem, not the person or personality. You practice that all the time in Toastmasters. You learn to protect the self-esteem of people. You learn to focus on the problem, not the personality. And that will serve you exceptionally well in your careers, your professional lives, and your personal lives. Now, can I talk a bit about my path to get to this position? You seem very interested in that. So I'll tell you the structure, first of all, and then I want to give you some general tips about getting to these sorts of positions. So to get to these positions, you need to serve as a district director, as Vanus is about to do next year, right? This gentleman will be your district director next year. Very good. So you need to serve as a district director. So we've got about 105 districts around the world in 136 countries, 330,000 members these days. So 105 every year finish their terms as district directors. Very senior leadership positions. So maybe I should take you through that structure as well. So people serve as club presidents. Then often they'll step up and say, well, I'm looking for a new stretch opportunity. And they serve as area directors, like Rich and Lagan do. So in those roles, they coach and help and advise clubs on how they can be successful. They help them be successful to hit their targets. And that's a real learning opportunity because every club in the world is different. We do the same 4 things. We chair meetings, we do table topics, we do speeches, we do evaluations, but every club does it a little bit differently. And the first time you're exposed to that, it's a bit of a surprise. Would you agree? It's a bit of a surprise. But as an area director, we need to learn, focus on the problem, not the personality, not the style. Make sure they're doing the right sorts of things. Make sure you're encouraging them to support their members so they can achieve their goals. So people serve as area directors, and that's a big coaching role. It's a big step. After they serve as area directors, some will serve as division directors. So they will coach a group of area directors so they can be successful. Another big stretch role in coaching people to be successful. Then they typically serve as club growth directors and as program quality directors, district directors. And then once you're a district director, you can run for the board of directors. We elect 7 every year. So 105 district directors come off finish their terms. We'll elect 7 of them, just 7, to be an international director. They're 2 years terms. We've got 14 international directors every year. And so once you serve as international director for 2 years, you're eligible to run for second vice president. Once you're elected second, you're elected first, typically, and then on to president-elect to president, like I am, and immediate past president. So that's the path from club president, area director, division director, club growth director, program quality director, district director, then become one of the 14 international directors. After 2 years of that, you can run for second vice president, become international president. Are you all still in the game? You all still want to be international president? Very good. It can be as quick as 7 years if you like, but it can take a long time. And I'll say personally, I didn't rush through these positions. So I served as a district director way back in 1999. And then I got involved in my board of trade. Personally, I always look for my next best opportunity to develop my skills. I write about this in one of the upcoming columns in the magazine. I forget which month it is. But I'm always looking for, what's the next best opportunity to use my skills to help an organization and to stretch my skills. So for me, that was the board of trade for a while. And then I came back and ran for the board. And then I did some more work with the board of trade. And then it wasn't until 2011 until I ran for these positions, and I lost to Mohammed Murad, and then I won the following year. So I always look for the next best developmental opportunity, and I encourage you to do that as well. Sometimes that'll be in Toastmasters, sometimes that'll be in another organization, but look for the best opportunity to develop your skills, to make a contribution and develop your skills. So the other thing I'd say about running for these positions is, even if you're not a club officer these days, just always find a way to contribute. Just be looking for a way to contribute. So let's say you're not a club officer, but you're at your meeting and you see a guest who comes in late and he or she's nervous and everybody's preoccupied and the sergeant at arms has got other things on the go, be the person who makes a contribution and go and gets that guest, smiles, shakes their hand and gets their name and introduces them to the group. If you're in the room and it's noisy and the door's open, be the one who gets up and shuts the door. Just find little ways to make a contribution. That's one of the keys. It's always be looking for a way to make a contribution. Don't be the one who sits back and says, somebody should be doing something about this. Somebody should be taking action on this. Be the one who makes a contribution, who makes a step. Find a way to make a contribution. And then the second part of that is, as soon as you can, find a way to run for one of the club officer positions. We've got 7 club officer positions. How many club officers in the room? Presidents, VP education, VP memberships, not that many really. Okay. We'll find a way. We have elections coming up in most clubs in May. And so I encourage you to run for one of these positions. And when you do that, some people think it's a very daunting task. But here's some advice that I give to anybody who serves in a club officer position. I say, look, just dedicate 10 minutes a week at a fixed time. So every Monday night, say you're going to spend 10 minutes on your club officer role. And that's a bit of a trick. Because here's what happens with that. It becomes a discipline and you sit down and you say, what can I do in 10 minutes? I'll give you an example. In my club typically shuts down in July and August because we meet in a school, and school closes in July and August. So I said to my club president, look, I'll take care of running the meeting in July. I'll find a location and get the people involved. So if I'm going to spend 10 minutes on that, well, what can you do in 10 minutes? All you can say is, oh, I better start a path on finding a location. So I'm going to contact these 3 people to see if they can help me find a location. You'll start the planning process in 10 minutes. And the key part is you will be in motion. You'll have some momentum. So spend 10 minutes on a regular basis. Even if it's only putting together a plan, you'll start to be in motion. You'll have some momentum. And the other trick to that is you might have said, I'm going to spend 10 minutes on it, but someday you're going to start working and you say, oh, I just spent 90 minutes on that. But you're not going to say, oh, that was a terrible 90 minutes. You spent 90 minutes because you're finding it rewarding. So the key to being successful in these club officer positions is some discipline, some regular attention to your role, finding a way to make a contribution, and you'll find rewards through that. So that will make sure that you've got some momentum and you get some things done. So those are the paths to become international president. I told you the positions you need to occupy. I tell you always find a way to make a contribution in your club. As soon as possible, find a way to get a club officer position. And when you get the club officer position, make sure you're spending 10 minutes a week on a regular basis, a regular time, and that will just develop some skills that will serve you so well over the years. So I see I've got a green card. He looks pretty beefy up here. I don't know who the other support guy is who will knock me down, but maybe I'll take a question or two. Would there be a question or two that you'd like to ask? It's okay. Yes, Petra.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wonder if you've got to become, to serve as a regional advisor first before becoming international director, sir.
Okay. So in Toastmasters, we've also got a position called Region Advisor. There's 14 of them around the world. And their role is to coach people like Tanu and people like Tuatwak on how to be successful in their districts. But no, you do not need to serve as a region advisor. That's a support role. It's optional. And so most of our directors today would not have served. I think 1 or 2 of our 14 may have served in those roles. It's a wonderful position. You get to travel within the region and do some training and support, but that's not a requirement at all. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Just 2 quick questions.
Yes.
Two quick questions.
Can you share with us over the last 30 years in Toastmasters, what is the 3 most important things that give you stay in 30 years in Toastmasters? And a little bit more personal, is there any moment of time that you quit Toastmasters? And what is the reason and why you're coming back, if there is?
Yeah. So 3 reasons I stay. One, I gave you one of the reasons. I do believe if you want to be good at these, you need those 3 things. You need a place to practice, you need the knowledge, you need the feedback. Secondly, I just get such a charge of seeing people come in and be nervous and awkward like I was. I was a computer programmer. I joined because 2 engineers came to my desk one day and said, "You're smart. You say nothing during meetings." come to Toastmasters. And we go to the meetings, they start at 6 o'clock. If we get to the hotel at 5 o'clock, go to the bar, have a beer, have some food, and go to the meeting. So the second reason I stay is that I love to see people develop. People who are nervous and shy like I was. In our supportive environment, they blossom very quickly. And the third reason, I guess I would say I get such a charge out of going to conventions like I will in Bangkok this weekend here, but additionally like the big one in Washington, D.C. It's just so inspirational to see how we've got a common language, common culture in Toastmasters in 136 countries around the world. So if you come to Washington, you'll see people from Asia, you'll see people from North America, from Mexico, from South America, from the Middle East, from India, from Australia, from New Zealand, from all over the world, and we've got a common language. And they'll be congratulate you on your DTM, congratulate you on your CC award, and they'll be talking about things they do, and they'll be dressed differently than you, they'll have different accents, but that's absolutely inspirational. So when you think about it, if you read some of the things that Ralph Smedley wrote, he started this organization, started in 1905, incorporated in 1924, it took him 19 years to really get this going. It's phenomenal what we've been able to do because of the common culture that we've developed. It's quite amazing. So was there a reason I quit Toastmasters? No, I've never quit Toastmasters. From time to time, I've been less involved because I put my attentions elsewhere. From time to time, I've been a little disappointed in my club. Like, I like to have fun when I go to meetings. I'd actually lived in another town for 4 years and wasn't participating in my St. John Toastmasters. And when I came back to town, they were very serious. They didn't have any fun at all. Everything was very serious. So I deliberately gave a speech on how I choose my socks in the morning. 5 to 7 minutes. I'm very proud. But it's also about culture as well, right? It's about, guys, let's have some fun here. Not everything needs to be life and death and serious. Let's have some fun in our speeches. So I did, from time to time, I have been a little disillusioned with my club, but we have 15,000 clubs around the world. And one of the things that I'd like to see us succeed in as Toastmasters is to be able to communicate the culture. Some people want a very serious environment. Most people, I think, want a fun environment. Some people want an environment where the evaluations are very rigid and very pointed. Some people need an environment where the evaluations are very, very soft. So we accomplish all that. We've got those cultures, but we do a very poor job of communicating that to the marketplace, to a potential member. We tell people, go visit a club. If you don't like that one, go visit another club. And that's not very good marketing in this day and age. So that's something that I'm working to advance.
Thank you.
Am I done? No. Okay. We have another question, Rich? Over here.
Hello everyone, my name is Hong. I'm working for the Nestle company. So my company have a UV English speaking club, and I also would like to engage with the Toastmasters in Ho Chi Minh City. So I would like to ask for the help. If you can give me the contact for inviting the guest speaker. Because we plan for the Toastmaster program in next 2 weeks. So I hope I can invite some of the speakers from the Toastmaster.
That's why we're here today.
Yes, I am.
All right, any other questions? One over here, microphone over here.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. So I would like to ask you only one question.
Nestle.
Is how did your view or perception change after joining Toastmasters for a long time, specifically in business, working with people or human relationship, or also in your life?
How did my perspective change in working with people because of Toastmasters? That's a really interesting question. So you made me think back. So when I joined, I was a computer programmer, very good at my job. But computer programmers have got their heads down. We're working in our heads. We're logical. We need to solve problems. We don't talk to people a lot. So Toastmasters made me, first of all, more social. It got me talking to people in my workplace. But additionally, it caused me to changed my ambitions, I guess. For a lot of people, I find this is the case with Toastmasters. For me, this sounded like this. Well, I was a computer programmer. I developed well in the IT field. I was doing project management, some team leadership. But in my organization, a big telecom company, I looked and I said, you know, sales and marketing looks like fun. Those are the guys and gals who make things happen. You don't need to sell things. That's where the revenue comes from. Those are the people who get promoted to get the best opportunities. So I said, I want to get in sales and marketing. So for me, the engagement in Toastmasters, I find in Toastmasters, once a lot of people get past the fear of public speaking, they kind of go, well, what's next? If I can get over this big barrier, what's next? And for me, it was that transition into another line of work. So I got involved in sales and marketing. That's still what I do. I still think like an IT guy, but I've now got the sales and marketing background as well. So for me, it was more social skills, more interacting with people, and pursuing other opportunities. So I see a red card came up. We've got lots of time to mingle afterwards, I think. But at this point, I'll return control to our very able chairperson. Thank you for your attention today. It's my pleasure to be with you here now.